Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Teslim Adiyema. This Microsoft session is meant to teach us or to guide us onto how to use the Microsoft software for research purposes and even beyond the research, for writing, for explaining our mind, our ideas or our thoughts to the world. This is a software that is used in producing virtually every written text in the world today. So it's a very, very powerful software. And I think it is good for every Muslim that is involved in Dawah, in explaining the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to really master how to use it. You don't have to become the best of the best of the best at using it. If you are, it is very, very good, because it means you'll be very productive in how you are using the tool and how you are passing the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to others. It's a powerful tool, like I said. And everything powerful is sometimes like a double-edged sword, as they say. So it's just like this knife. This knife, you see, has benefits and has some disadvantages also. It depends on how you look at it. You can use it for good, and some people can use it for bad. You can use it to chop your meat in the kitchen. You can use it to slice your onion in the kitchen. You can use it to slice your, what do you call it, your plantain, your tomato. That's for good. And some people can also use it to rob, to kill people, to threaten people, to do negative things. The same thing with this tool also. But I hope we use it for the good, for the better. And I hope that being Muslims, being imams, being Muslim influencers, we are going to use it to promote Islam, to pass the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala across to other people. Now, why is it important that we actually use this tool effectively? We know how to use it, we master it. You see, there are different approaches of doing da'wah, and one of it is writing. And if you look at virtually all the books written in the world today, most of them are written using the Microsoft Word. So it's good that we know how to use it, how to use the tool to express our thoughts. Because sometimes, you see, there was a time recently, actually, in Yale University, they did a research, a survey of elites, 2,000 elites, and 2,000 people that are not really, really well educated. They are educated, but not at a very, very high level. So, and the research was to know how effective is. There's something they call a newspaper op-ed, opinion editorial. Usually those are articles written by somebody to express his opinion about an issue, probably a current issue, to a newspaper, and they will publish it. So, and they were asking these people, they were trying to weigh how opinion ads, op-eds, articles has impact on some of them. So, on both categories of people, those who are very, very well educated and those who are not really that much educated. So, when they did the final processing of the survey, they discovered that 25% of both the elites and both the non-elites said that those articles had impact on them, made them change their position from negative to positive. So the idea here is that writing is very, very important. Somebody wrote an article somewhere in his house, in his room, published it in a newspaper, and what happened? He shifted somebody's position from where they were to where they want them to be. And I think as Muslims, that's the kind of thing we should try and be doing, where we encourage people through our writing to change their negative mindsets towards Islam, to really, really love Islam. So that's the thing. Those are the kind of things we want to be doing. And this is one of the tools. What we are going to learn today is one of the tools you can use to do that. So if you master Microsoft Word, how to put your thoughts into writing through your computer, it's going to help you a lot because it's better than writing. But if you write, you give it to somebody and the person will have to rewrite. Sometimes it takes long. But if you can do it yourself, if you take the time to learn it, and I think it's a tool that is worth learning, they will say anything that will lead you to doing good is also good. Anything that will lead you to do what is wajib is also wajib from the scholars of Qawaid al-Fiqhiyya. So I think this one also, as long as it's going to help us propagate the message of Islam, I think it's good that we learn it also because it's going to facilitate it. So let's see how we can use Microsoft Word on our computer. So let's shift to the computer and see how to do it. So the first thing you will want to do is you press the Microsoft key on your keyboard. You will see one on your keyboard. Your keyboard has rows. The first row from the bottom, you will see one that has CTRL, Control, and depending on your keyboard. But what you want to click now is the one that has 4 boxes, white boxes. They call it the Windows key. You press it and you press letter S at the same time. And this will appear on your computer. So once you see this on your computer, you type word, W-O-R-D, this word. So and once you type it, you will see something like this. You can see word here, the word app here. So click on that one and you have your Microsoft Word. Now, sometimes if it is your first time of clicking it, this is what it will show you. So it will come like this. Because I have already done some things before, so that's why you have recent here. But yours, what you want is blank document. So you click on the blank document, and this is what you have. So what I'll be showing you here today, some of the basics I'll be showing. How to open. So already that's what I've shown you, how to open a Word document, how to do copy and pasting, how to highlight text. We'll talk about the style ribbon and how to change, and how to change existing style, how to do some referencing, because as Muslims, we don't just write, we don't just go onto write books or write articles without giving references. That's very important for us. So how do you put references to whatever you have written, and how do you add footnotes and endnotes? So we'll look at those. So now number one, this is the home tab. When you open your Microsoft Word, this is the home tab. And when you click on the blank page, you will see a cursor blinking. Now, this is the beginning of your document. And with this blank page, you can do anything you want to do. You can change people's mind. You can change people's life. And you can change people's identity. Like whatever you want them to do. Just using this page and your arguments. So now I'm at this level. I suppose you know how to type. If you don't know how to type, it's very, very easy. It just means that you are going to be very, very slow. But I'm very sure with time you get to become fast. So it's very easy. Look at the keyboard and you type whatever you want to type. So you can type your name. Let's start by typing your name. I will type my name. My name is Teslim, so I type Teslim. Because you can see it on the keyboard. Just type Teslim, but you type your own name. So as you are seeing now, that's everything you need to do. Anything you want is what is on the keyboard. But we will be learning some other things gradually. So this is my name, Teslim. If you want to have space, you will see the longest bar, the longest key from the bottom. If you type it once, it creates space. Type it. You see, it keeps moving. And if you want to move back, you will see somewhere towards the right side of the key, it say backspace. You just click on those one and it will go back. If you want to delete, you click on it again, it will delete. So if you type M again, so some of us are fast and some will not be fast. It doesn't matter. Just take your time. By the time you use this thing for a few time, you will see that you are becoming very fast at it. So now what we want to do is how to copy, from some of the things we have. So we can't learn everything completely from here in just 1 hour. We'll just be learning the basics thing that you will be needing and be using most often. So this is my name, Teslim Adeyemo, and I want to copy it. Now, to copy, how do you copy? There are a number of ways to copy. If you want to copy, you have to highlight first. And what do I mean by highlight? This is what I mean. You see, I am highlighting. I have highlighted the whole thing. Now, I will unhighlight it. So, to highlight, what I did is, on the mouse, and I hope you've, in your Shamila classes, you have learned the parts of the keyboards. So I wouldn't go too much into that. So the keyboard has different parts. A keyboard has different parts. So in the part of the keyboard is where the mouse is. The mouse of the laptop, since I'm very sure all of you are using laptop, nobody here is using a desktop. So, but if you have an external keyboard, an external mouse, you will see that there are two clickable sides of it, and the same thing is how your inbuilt keyboard, your inbuilt mouse is also. So the mouse, the way it is, you see it's a rectangular or square in shape. Now towards the bottom of the mouse, there are two sides to it, the left side and the right side. So now to highlight, you press on the left side of the bottom of your mouse and you drag the top. You drag the top like this. So once you do this, it will highlight. So you have highlighted it. Now, to copy, all you have to do is press Ctrl and C. Now, I have pressed Ctrl and C, so it has already copied what I want. Now, if I press Enter from here, from this side, I put my cursor at the end of the word and I press Enter, the Enter key. So now, for you to know that it has copied, I want to paste it. So, to copy, once again, you do Ctrl C. And to paste, you do Ctrl V. You see, it has pasted. So this is how you copy. Now, I showed you one way of highlighting, because you have to highlight what you want to copy. In other words, you have to select. You have to select what you want to copy first. So, and that's what I did. You select by highlighting. So if you press again the bottom of your mouse, the left bottom of your mouse, and you drag again, that's how to select. You select and select, highlight means the same thing. So now I want to show you another way of highlighting or of selecting. What you do is you put your cursor on a particular word and you tap your keyboard 2 times. 1, 2. It has selected just one word. It selects just one word. If you want to select all the word, you type 3 times. So 1, 2, 3. So you see, it has selected all. So that's how you do. You can either do the dragging, and you can either do the tapping 1, 2 to select one word, or 1, 2, 3 to select the whole word. Now, and this is more efficient. Tapping is more efficient when you have many words. If it's a whole paragraph, for example, So let's say, so another way of, before we go to that, another way of highlighting, of selecting again is, let's say, this is where my cursor is. The cursor is what I use to control my position on the page. So now you can press on the Shift key, then press on the arrow key that goes to the left to select. So I'm selecting and highlighting because I press to the left. So if I'm here, I press the Shift key and I press the arrow key again to the right, it will select to the right. Let's say this is where I want to stop copying from. So I can just stop here. If I want to continue, I can do this, and this, and this, to select all. So this particular way of highlighting or of selecting gives you control over where to start and where to stop. So let's say it's only the 3-letter I want to select from here. I just press down the shift key. I don't remove my hand on it. I hold it. Then I press the right arrow, right arrow, right arrow 3 times just to select this and stop. Then I can leave. Then I can copy by pressing Control C. Then I come here, go down and press Control V to paste. So it only selected the 3. So you use, let me see, you can use Shift plus arrow direction, to copy, to highlight. Or you can double click. You can double click your mouse. You can double click your mouse to select a single word. That one is for single word. And you can triple click your mouse to select a whole line. To select a whole line in your document. So, and these are the 3 ways to highlight a document, to highlight content on your page. So now, let's say we have a paragraph, a long paragraph. So this is what I will do. If we have a long paragraph, you copy this. Let's imagine this is a paragraph. Let me copy. So let's say, okay, no, this is not paragraph. Actually, this is how it will show as a paragraph. Yeah. So let's say this is a paragraph. So, and if you double click on this, it just selects one, like you said. So if you triple click 1, 2, 3, it selects the whole paragraph. So you see, sometimes it's more effective or efficient to do 1, 2, 3 than to start dragging from, clicking down the bottom of your mouse and dragging down. If you have a whole page or a whole paragraph, let's say this is the whole paragraph you want to highlight, it might take so long. So all you have to do is just 1, 2, 3, and it has selected all of it. So, and then when you select it, it gives you options. Do you want to bold it? Do you want it to become bold? Do you want to italicize it? Do you want to underline it? So you underline everything. Or do you want to highlight it? It highlights it. Or do you want to change the color of the text from black to blue? No, it's okay. You have to select it first. Then blue, everything becomes blue. But I don't want that. So now, so these are just how to handle some of these things. So how to highlight and how to copy and paste. So you have to highlight first before you can copy and paste. So that is one. Now, there are a number of things we also can look at. So let's look at the style ribbon. This section from here to here is the style ribbon. So it gives you style, how it helps you style your content. Now, okay, let's say before then, let me show you something here. Here, you have control over everything here. How do you want your text to look like? So if you want to change the font, so here we have different font size. This is called Calibri, and this is how a Calibri font looks like. If you want to change it to something else, like to make your font look neater, more interesting, more appealing to the eyes, this is where you control it. So you can just Google best font for this kind of thing, and you go. But I think usually as beginners, I think it's good to always use this one. Start with this one. It's good enough. Everybody can read it, and it's a safe font. You can use it on virtually every computer, so it won't change on another computer. So this is good enough for you to use. So you can decide to increase the font. Let's say this is a title, for example, or the heading. You can decide to make it to bolden it and to increase the font size. Now, there are two ways of increasing the font size. You can increase it by directly adding the number you want here. Let's say 28 here, and you press enter. It makes it 28. You can decide to click down here and select. So as you are changing, it is the preview. It is changing in real time until you I'm okay with this. No, this is better. No, let's see how this looks like. So you can change it so it's, you can see it dynamically. It previews in real time. So, but if you don't press anything here and you move, it will go back to the original one. So once you double click, it gives you a shortcut here if you don't want to come up here. The same thing that came down there, this one, is the same thing that is up here. And so if you feel like, oh, let me just do it here, do it from here, you can continue and start styling it from here. If on the other hand you want to come here, you can come here. Now, the other thing I wanted to show you about how to increase or decrease font size is here. This one, you see, it says increase font size. Like there are different ways. You can either click on this one, or you press on Control Shift and the left arrow key. So let's try that one. So I highlight first. Always remember, whatever text you want to work on, you have to highlight it first. If not, you might affect everything on the page. So this is the only thing we want to style now. So I can either click here to increase the style or to decrease the style from here. Or I can do Control Shift, then right angle arrow. So if I click, so it says here, it says to increase font size, Shift plus Control plus the right angle arrow. So it seems not to be working here. Okay, let's see. Shift, Control. Okay, so I think the correct one is you press Control and you press the curly brace, the left square arrow. When you press Control plus the square key also has the what do you call it? So you press the square key. So once you press the square key, the right square key, so it's increasing. If you want to decrease it, you press Control plus the left square key. So it's decreasing the text. So this is how you go about it. If you want to increase or decrease, you see I'm increasing it here and I'm decreasing it here also. So now there are various ways of going about it. So you can decide to use the key here. You can decide to go straight into the box and type the number you want. It will increase or decrease just give it the size you want. If you want 48, you can just go there and type 48. But remember to press enter. And you remember to make sure that what you are selecting, what you want to work on is highlighted, is selected. You have to select it first. If not, it will not, nothing will happen. So now, let's say this one that is selected is the title of a page. So probably you are writing a 5-page article, or a 10-page article, or a 20-page article, and you want that the first page, that's where you want your title to be. So all you have to do, and you want to format it. The reason why this style ribbon is very important is that it makes your work easily editable. If you want to change something later, so whatever you have given a particular style, so you can easily change the style subsequently. So now, if you come to from here, from this section to the end here, that's where you have the style ribbon. So you can just come here, title. So you have the title here, and click on title. So it has changed it to another font and another style. So, but you can rechange it. What is important is you have selected it, you have given it this title style. So it will take this title style. Now, all you have to do is rechange it to whatever font size you want, which was 48 before. So now, before it was 48, so you go back to 48. Before it was highlighted, it was bolding. Now you can bolden it back again by clicking on this key, this button here. If you don't want to press on that button, you just press Control B. It will bolden it for you. So this is now the title. So now, let's say this is subtitle of your page. Let's take it from, let's take one line. So this is subtitle. Say you have, well, let me give you a better title. Let's say something like, so let's say you have a very long document, and that document needs a title page, and you have to put a title to the document. You also have to put a subtitle. So this is what you can do. So on this page, which is the first page, so you want this one to be the title. So all you have to do is to come here and click title. So now it is the title. So then you can decide to change the text, the font size. You can decide to come inside here and give it 48, for example, press enter. If it is too big, you can decide to reduce it to 38, for example. Now, it doesn't, I don't know what font size to use. I'm just testing. So it doesn't, your title doesn't have to be 38 or 48. It can be anything. So this is just me testing or playing around with numbers. So if you don't want to enter it here, you feel you need to be fast, you can start playing around with it here. By the time you scroll down here, it will be dragging it for you. And you can see there is 4 dot here. So which tells you can drag it down. So when you put your cursor there, it becomes a double faced arrow. So you can drag down, and normally it will give you other numbers. I don't know why this is not giving me, but not to worry. So the other thing you can do is to increase it from here. You see, when you hover over this button, it says increase font size. So you can increase it with this, increase. If it is too big, you can decrease it with this number, this button rather. Decrease it to whatever you want. You can also press Control plus the right angled key. If you see the letter P, the one beside the one to the right, the key to the right of letter P, or let's say the bracket, the square bracket, let me put it that way. You press Control plus the square bracket that faces the right will increase the size. The square bracket that faces the left, when you press Control down and click on the square bracket that faces the left, it will decrease it back. So, and usually its own decrement is by 1, so which can be very, very good sometimes, and increment is by 2 also, by 1 also. So you can make it 40, for example. Then if you come down to this, which is supposed to be the subtitle, then you can just you come here and click on it, so it becomes your subtitle. Then you can control how you want to position it from here. So you want it to be in the center, you press the center button here. Then this one also, this one is right aligned. If you want it to be centered, you can center aligned. You can center align it by pressing on this key. Then it's in the center now. So you feel that your title has to be bold, in bold characters. So all you have to do is to press on this bold. If you don't press it here, you can come here and press it. If you don't want to do that, you can just press Control B. If you press Control B again, it will not become bold again. So this button, you press it first time, it will become bold. If you don't want it to be bold, you press it again, it goes back to its normal, its default state. So I will press Control B since it's a title to make it a title. And this one also, I can decide to make it bold again, then it's bold. So if for any reason you have to change the color of this one to any other color, so you can just come here, you see the font color here. So all you have to do is press here and change the font color, probably to red if you want, to dark red if you want, to orange, light orange, to yellow, green, green, blue, dark blue. This one is dark blue. This one is blue, and this one is sky blue, I think, light blue. So you can decide to choose whichever one you want. You can also decide to play around with it. If you come here um, to play around with colors, I mean, if you come here, you see you have more colors, you have gradients, but you don't need all those ones in your document. It's for artistic style. Now, so you have come here. Now let's see here now. This is a chapter, and you have many chapters. This is another chapter, this is another chapter. Now, instead of coming to style things here, let's say this is the style it is, and you feel like you want the style to be another style. And instead of coming here to style this one in a particular way, spend some time doing all the styling you want, then come down here again and do all the styling you want again, one by one, and come down here and do it. You can just come here. You see here, for example, this one, you have it, you've highlighted it as heading 1. This chapter heading also, you've highlighted it as heading 1. This one also, you highlighted it as heading 1. Now, the reason why you have to, if you don't highlight them as heading 1, it will give you some challenges when you want to modify the style later, But as it is now, because you've given it heading 1, it makes it easier. You don't have to go down to each one of them and change them. You can change them from here. So if I say this heading 1, for example, I want it to be bold. I want the color to be black. I choose black. And I want the character to, just for the sake of explanation, I want it to be 20, the font size, to be 20. So as I click, it's now 20. So what's this? Okay, so it's now 20. Now, I've changed this, but this one didn't change. This one didn't change. This chapter didn't change. Chapter 3 didn't change. Chapter 2 didn't change. Chapter 1 didn't change. So if I want to change all of them, let's say I have about 20 chapters. So instead of going to each chapter and changing them to this one, I just change one chapter because I've given them all the same quality here, which is heading 1, the same style. So all I have to do is come down here, excuse me. So you right click on this. So if you right click on this, it says modify. So let me go back again. You highlight this one first, the one I've changed it, and I want to modify all the H1 on my page. So what I do, you right click. Right click means on your mouse, the mouse on your keyboard, your keypad, the right side of the bottom section. You click on it, and this dialog box will come up. When it comes up, all you want to do is modify. You click on modify, so that's if you want to modify it right from the beginning. But here you can decide update heading 1 to match selection. So in other words, all the heading 1s, all the characters, all the words that you gave heading 1, you can update them to meet the new style that you have given this one. So this is what you do. Once you click update, so it has updated all H1. So if you go to check the other chapter heading, is the same and is the same. So that's why it's good to use this particular section. It saves you a lot of time, especially if you have about 30 pages, 100 pages, 250 pages article write-ups. You are writing a book, even if it's an article, you don't want to be searching for every individual words or character or paragraph and be changing them. No, you don't want to do that. So now, let's say all paragraphs. This one, if you click on it, it is telling me that this paragraph is Calibri, the font name is Calibri, and the font size is 11. And I want to change, let's say this one, for example. Let me copy this and put it under let's say this is my paragraph for my chapter. This one, let me put it this. And let's say chapter 3 also, this is what we have. this. Now we have this. This is chapter. This is the chapter 3 text, and this is chapter 3 2 text, and this is chapter 1 text. Now, so I don't want to do something like this where I select everything. I could do it, but let's see what happens if I modify. So I could do it this way, and instead of dragging to so many pages, I could do Control A. If you click on Control and A, what happens is it selects everything. Then when you change the style, it is changing everything, and that's not what you want. You only want to change the chapter heading. So you don't have to do, you don't have to select all. You don't have to do Control A to select everything. So what you want is the only thing you need. So what I need is I need these paragraphs, and everything that looks like this paragraph is what I want to change. Any other thing, not the heading, not the title page, I don't want to change these ones. The only thing I want to change is the paragraph, the content. So what do you do? And because if you look at it here, it says normal text. In other words, all the normal text, you can come here, you see nothing here. So, so now all the normal text are your normal paragraphs. So you want to change the paragraph style of everything, and we only selected the paragraph for chapter 1, right? So now let's go back and let's style the paragraph. We don't want it to be 11, we want it to be 14. This font size to be 14, or let's say 16. No, 16. Yeah, we want it to be 16. The size to be 16, and we don't want Calibri. We want probably, let's say, Cascadia, Kandara. Let's say Kandara, for example. This Kandara, for example, just for the sake of example. It might not be the best text to use here, but just for the sake of example. So I have changed this one. Then I want this one also. Instead of me coming here to do the same thing, I don't have to come here to do the same thing. I don't have to come down here also to do the same. All I have to do is select this paragraph again and come here, right click on it and say update normal text. Update normal to match selection. In other words, every text I gave the normal style. I want to update that style to meet this new style. So once you click update and you go down there, you will see that every other thing under chapter 2 has become the same thing with that one. So this is the fast way of working with this text. So that's why you don't have to worry when you are writing. Just be typing, making sure that whatever is the same remains the same. And what do I mean by that? You always try as much as possible to ensure that you have headings in your writings. And your headings, use this style, heading 2. You don't have to worry about styling them. You only have to style one heading, and all the headings will be the same with it if you follow what we just did. So if you have a 10-page, 20-page, 50-page, 70, 100-page text, and you structure them, So that's why it's always good before you start writing, you have your own outline. You have your outline, then your outline, you have, say, point 1, point 1, point 2, here, let's, 1, point 2, point 3. So you know that, and these are your headings, the headings, and your subpoints. For example, this is subpoints 1, 1, subpoints 1, 2, and the same thing on and on like that. So this one and this one, you want to give them the same style. So this one, for example, so if, let's say, this one is your title, so you give it the title. If this one is your chapter 1, you can decide to give it heading 1. If this one is, so this one is your main text, you leave it as normal. You can decide to give it normal, and this one also normal. Give it a normal, what's going on here? Yeah, normal. And this one, give it your H1 also because it's a main heading. And this one also give it your H1 because it's the main heading. What's going on? Yeah, so it's the main heading. So this is main heading. This is the content under the main heading, the supporting point. You do the same thing for this one and this one also. So now if I change, this is just me repeating what I showed you again. So if I change this particular one, this is Calibri, and if I decide to change it to something else, what other fonts are interesting here? Let's say I like this Dubai font. So let's say you change it to Dubai, and instead of me coming to change this one to Dubai and this one to Dubai again, I don't have to because I've already given them the same characteristics. So all I have to do is come here and say modify, update all heading 1 to the new style I gave this one. So and once you do that, update, so this one automatically becomes like this. So and you can, so now if you go down also and check this one has become Dubai also because I said because it's H1 and this is also H1. So you want to give similar level. So when you have your outline, you give similar similar level text, the same style, so that when you want to style them, you just you give them the same style here. So when you want to style them, all you have to do is go to the first one and say update every other text that has this same style to another new style. So I hope you understand that one very well. So that's for the ribbon. So you have various things here: no space, heading 2, title, subtitle, subtle emphasis. If you want to emphasize something, you might not need most of this, or you can play around with them to see what they really means. So list paragraph. Let's say, for example, I mean this is important because you might use them a lot. Let's say this one you want to convert it to a list. All you have to do is list. Then you can decide to style them in a particular way. So once you style them in a particular way, so every other list again that you see, you can give them this and just tell them all the lists, this is how you want them to be. So you just do updates all lists to match. So in other words, you see it has it now. It didn't have it before, now it has it. So you can do Control Z. Now, okay, I think something I need to mention also is the Control Z. Control Z is very important. If you make a mistake, you can do Control Z. Like this one, for example, I didn't want it to be, I say I don't want it to be like this. You just press Control Z. It goes to how it was before. Control Z, how it was. In other words, I am undoing what I did. So I didn't want it to be like this. Now, if I want it to go back, let's say I change my mind. I say, no, it's better the way I did it. So all I want to do is Control Y. It will take it back, Control Y. It takes it back to what I wanted before. So in other words, to redo, you press Control Z. To Control Y. To undo, you press Control Z. So I hope that clarifies something for you. So the next thing is the reference tab, because these are the things you will need most. So for 90% of people needs these areas, especially writers, academic writers will need this. So that's why we are focusing on this. Let's say this is your chapter and you want to reference it, that okay, you got this one in another book, and this is what you do. You come here under the reference, and all you have to do is insert a footnote. Say what you want is footnote. You want to give a footnote, reference this, give it a footnote. All you have to do, come here, insert footnote. If it is end note you want, you put end note. So let's stop at footnotes. It's the same thing. It's just that it will happen at the end if you use end notes at the end of the page. So what you do is you click on this, and it brings you down here. So you write your reference, name of author, comma, year of publication, comma, and what again? Okay, private title of book, title of book, comma, year of publication, depending on which style you are following. So, so let's say this is the reference. So you have one here, and you have the one here. So if you hover over this one, it gives you that reference down there. And so this is how to add footnote. It's so easy. All you have to do is to go to where you want the reference to be, the reference number to be. Click here, it will create something for you. And you don't even have to worry about the numbering, because it will do. Let's say here, I have another thing I want to reference here, and you click, boom. So you see, it puts it up. Then you can put new reference here. So you write the full reference you want to write. This is just an example. So from here, you can double click on this number here. It takes you up to where exactly the reference is. And if you want to know, let's say you don't want to scroll down and you want to know what the reference is, you can just hover over it here, and it will give you new reference, whatever the reference is. Here, name of author, the same thing we wrote down there. It will give you whatever you write down here and number it accordingly. If you change it, if you copy this and take it down somewhere there, it will copy it together with its reference. So let's create chapter 4 here. So usually, instead of scrolling down, here what I can do, I'll just press Control and Enter. So it takes me to another page. So I create my chapter 4. So now my chapter 4, I give it if you come back to the Home tab here, I style it as H1. So it is already following this. So I don't have to change, it's so good, so easy, and makes life easier if you style it that way. Then I come here, I give it this. So because I have changed the normal size to this one, it follows. Now, when I copied this from chapter 1, it copied together with the reference, and I dropped it here. It also copied the same references down, but it renumbered them also. So that's the good thing with this. It's automatic, and it carries. So even if you copy to another page completely different from this, it will copy all the references. So you don't have to worry. So that's why this is good. It makes your work easier. You don't waste time. You are laser focused on what you are doing. So it's a very good thing to give enough time to this, to learn it, because it makes you very prolific in your writing. It makes you add impact into people's life. Because a lot of scholars in the Ummah, they have brilliant ideas sometimes, but they don't have time to share the ideas. Sometimes when you are alone, that's when some of the most brilliant ideas come to your mind. You can just take up your computer and start writing something. Sometimes writing on paper is not easy. Even if it is easy, you have to rewrite it again or give it to somebody. But if you have your computer and you have this system, you have a Microsoft document, very easy. You can have your thoughts there. You can change it. You can bring this up. This chapter 3, for example, let's say I want to take it to, I feel like, this chapter 3 should be chapter 1. All I have to do is copy this, just copy and come to chapter 1 here, Control, Enter, that one goes down, and, have this one here, paste. So, and just all I have to do is change this to chapter 1, and this to chapter 2, and this to chapter 3. So now, when you did, unfortunately, this is not going to be automatic, but I'll show you something. Now, that's not automatic, but easily I can move around my paper, my thing. So now if I had written it in notes, sometimes it's a bit difficult to, if you write it, if you are writing on a paper, it's sometimes a bit difficult to say you want to change things around, and it will become very messy. So now let's look at it. Because we were able to use these styles here, something can happen. And what can happen is, let me delete this one. So let's say you want to have a table of content for your write-up. What do? All you do is go back to the reference here. And you see here is the table of content, right? So, but you have to choose where you want your table of content to be. So this is the first page, and this is the second page. So you come to the second page here. What's going on? So let's say we are here. I'm coming. Okay. No. Yeah. Let's say we are here. Then you click on table of content. You come to reference, to the reference tab. You come to table of content. Click on the table of content, and you select which one you want. So I'll go with the easiest one. Okay. Let me go with this manual table now. I want it to be automatic. So I come here, click on this, then it has created the table of content for me. Content, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4, chapter 4. So, what happened is I didn't save. So that's why this thing is like this. So I have two chapters 4 actually. Let's change chapter 1. So, and this one is not captured. You know why? It's not captured because I didn't give it a style, a heading style. So let's come back to home, then give it a style. So now it's chapter 1. Now it will not automatically come here, but see what is going to happen. So let's count our chapters very well. Chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, and chapter 4 here. So this one is chapter 5, the one I copied. So it will not automatically show. So then what you do, for it to automatically rearrange, what you do is you come back to this reference table and you say update. Can you see that? So if you say update table, it asks you, is it the page numbers only you want to update, or you want to update the entire table? So I will say the entire table, and when I do, boom. So you have chapters 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and it gives you where they are. Now, there's something. This is chapter 1. Chapter 1 is on page 3. So if you press Control and click, as you see, it's a current document, Control plus click to follow link. So you press Control, click, it takes you to chapter 1. So very, very easy. But the thing is, we don't have numbers here. So for you to give it number, it's very simple. Go back to, you come to insert here. If you want to add number, if you want to add any extra thing, you come to insert here. So as you are under insert here, you come to, where is it? Insert, excuse me, insert. There are two ways to do it actually. You can actually come down here and double click, but that's not what I want to do. I want to show you the other way of doing it. Okay. It's not insert actually. Sorry. So what you do, you come under, if I come to home, okay, so it has disappeared from here. I think it's not showing. Okay, this is a new version of Microsoft Word. They keep modifying it, but no problem. When you come here, insert. So under insert, yeah, I think it's under insert, yeah. So when you come under insert, here you see page number. So you will always see page number here. And you click on page number. Do you want your page number to be on top? Do you want to be at the bottom, page margin, or what? So I want it to be at the bottom. So if I click it, and you select which one you want. So which style? There is this one that will be on the left, which the number will be on the left. Here the number will be on the in the middle. Here the number will be on the left, on the right. So I go with the one where the number is going to be on the right. So, and it shows my numbering here. You see? So that's, cool, isn't it? Now, and the numbering is Kandara. So if the fonts of the number is Kandara and the size is 16. To me, it's too big. I can reduce it to 12. Yeah, 12 is okay. Then I want to change it to something else. You don't have to change it, but let's say you want to change it to Dubai, for example. So I've changed mine to Dubai now. Then all of them will change to Dubai, so and the same size. So then you double click inside. So if you double click at the bottom of the page, it will come back to this. If you double click inside the page, so you are out of that header, and the footer. So usually this is how you do it. Now this is not the best font size. I mean, not that it's not the best font size, but it's not it's not looking good, right? So this is not how you want to do. You want your paragraphs to look like, because let's make a very good paragraph. My name is Teslim. My name is Teslim Adeyema. I work with the Dawah Institute. I work with the Dawah Institute. I work with the Dawah Institute. I created something I am proud of called the Muslim Change Maker, for example. Change Maker. It's a website where you can learn the modern way of doing da'wah. Something like this. Now this looks much nicer, isn't it? So this look much nicer than this other name there, and usually it's too big. To me, it's too big for a paragraph. So what you want to do, I want to bring it down to something like 12 to make it look cool, and max 14. So now, if I do that and I decide, okay, since it is 14, I want all the paragraphs to follow this same style. All the text that have this same style to follow this style. So now every other thing, all these paragraphs will become 14 and the same size with that one, including the one up. So I don't have to do them manually. It reduces. So if the machine can do something, allow the machine to do it instead of you doing it manually. So that's the beauty of this. And by the time you write so many sentences, many paragraphs, So, but all you want to do is to keep practicing and practicing, and you will see that this thing is so easy to use and it's very, very interesting. So this is how, in a nutshell, you use Microsoft Word. So if there are any questions, I think I'll be there physically to answer your questions and answer, inshallah. So thank you very much for following along, and I hope we meet in another class to really dig deep into this, inshallah. Thank you very much. I think with this, you will be able to start, composing your thoughts in, using Microsoft Words to transform other people's life. This is very important because we are in an age now where how you're able to convince other people through writing, through speaking, through anything is very, very important. We don't need to fight to get people to believe in Islam. We don't need to go violent to get people to understand our point of view. What we only need is to express ourselves, to explain our part of the stories. In the world today, in the olden day, let me say, it's difficult for you to get your words out because there's the media, we have gatekeepers that control everything. If you write something, they might not publish it. But today we are in the world of self-publishing. Nobody can stop you from writing. You write and publish. So you have social media, you have WhatsApp groups where you can share everything. You have Facebook, you have Twitter, you have all these platforms where you can share your ideas, where you can share your thoughts, where you can share what you're writing, where you can share what you're saying. I personally have a mailing list where I got a number of people to register, and wallahi, every morning I wake up, I see somebody say Jazakallahu khairan because of what I wrote in that email. And sometimes you see somebody, feels very inspired just because of what I wrote. I wake up every morning and like, Alhamdulillah, at least I know I have touched somebody's life. Even this morning, I received an email that somebody was like, this is very, after reading about 5 or 7 of my emails, and the person, this is a very good thing. That's how I share my own. I like working behind the scene. I'm not a popular person. Nobody knows me, but even at that, my writing has gone very far and wide. Many Muslims, non-Muslims, are reading some of the things I'm writing, and most of the time I write them. I start writing through Microsoft Word. I can have my ideas on paper, jot down, but when I want to flesh them out, I flesh them out on what do you call it? Using my Microsoft Words account, and you can see, if you check it, you will see my picture there. I'm proud of owning a Microsoft account, so I write. Most of my write-ups are there. Sometimes it starts from an outline, and when I get time, I flesh it out fully. And I will encourage you to do something similar. If you have a Facebook group, if you have a WhatsApp group, you can be writing, but make your writing not too long. 500 words maximum, 800 words maximum. A standard opinion op-ed article, which people write, opinion article which people write, usually it's about 800 words, maximum 800 words, minimum 600 words. And if we have people that change other people's life with just 800 words article, just imagine. We should be able to do that, and that's one of the most powerful way of doing that. Writing is very, very important. The thing is, if you're able to if you're able to convince somebody through your writing, I don't think there's anything else somebody from anywhere can come and do to that person. If somebody reads, because changing people through writing, it's much more powerful than through other means. Why? Because the person sat down to take his time it means the person really, really is in need of what you are writing. So we have to learn how to write persuasively. We have to write how to touch people's hearts at the beginning, not mind. Sometimes if you want to change people's mind, you have to come from their hearts first. Write in a way that you can touch their hearts, their feelings, their emotion. So you have to start empathetically. Be empathetic with them. Try to understand where they are coming from. Then take them gradually and let them see the reason why things have to be in Allah's way, not in their own way. So I seriously hope that this is a useful session for you, and I hope you are going to just go through it. It's not a difficult application. Just follow through a few number of times, and by the time you practice it a number of times, you will see that it's easy and you can share your message. I believe most of imams, most of our Muslim brothers and sisters have a lot to give, have a lot of ideas, but the thing is, they don't write it. They don't write it out because they feel it's difficult to write. It's not difficult to write. Just give it time. Even if it takes 1 year to write an article, I think try it, do it, don't stop it. This is what is going to be your sadaqatun jariyah. When you leave the world, it might be just one article you have written in your life, and probably 10 years later, somebody will see the article, read it, and it will have an impact in the life of the person. So don't hide your knowledge. Don't keep it. Share it, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it beneficial to you and myself and all the Muslims in the world. Jazakumullahu khairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.